All right, today we're looking at graphing quadratic equations. A quadratic equation can be in two forms. You could have vertex form or it could be in standard form. It's easy to change them from one to the other. Vertex form looks like this, or it could be f of x equals this, y or f of x, either one. But what you have is you have x minus h squared plus k, where h is the horizontal movement of the vertex and k is the vertical movement of the vertex, where h and k is the vertex, which is here's an example right here. This is vertex form, and right here -3 would be my x coordinate of the vertex, and then +2 would be the y coordinate. So that's vertex form. Standard form is a little bit different. Standard form, you just have y equals, and you have coefficient times x squared plus a coefficient times x plus a constant coefficient. It could be y equals or f of x equals. Here's an example right here. Now, you can find the vertex by doing this right here. X is going to equal -b over 2a. This right here is the axis of symmetry. Once you find that value, you can plug it in and you can find the y value, and those two values would be your vertex. For instance, in this one, my b is 8 and my a is 2. So x would be -8 divided by 2 times 2, which this would be -8 on top, and there would be a 4 down there. So my axis symmetry, x equals -2. Now if I plug that back in, put -2 in there, so I have 2 times -2 squared plus 8 times -2 minus 1, and that gives me, was it 4, 8, -9. Okay, which means -2, -9 would be my vertex. Okay. All right, well, how does this relate to graphing? Well, here we go. We're going to look at some graphs. Let's look at this one first. Now, they're a little bit small, but just kind of maybe focus in. In this equation right here, you first notice this is standard form. So my axis of symmetry is going to be x equals -b over 2a, and my b is -4, and my a is a -1. So this is going to give me a +4 over a -2, which is a -2. So that's my axis of symmetry. Okay, now I take the -2 and I put it in. So when I put it in this function right here, the function value of -2 is going to be -2 squared minus 4 times -2 minus 3. You don't have a whole lot of room here. And then that tells me that f of -2 is going to be, that's going to be -4 plus 8 would be 4 minus 3 would be 1. Okay, so when I punch this in the calculator, I get 1, which means my vertex is -2, 1. So there's the vertex of this graph. And looking at the graph, see how my a is negative? This negative right here in front of the x squared term tells me that this is concave down. So right off, see, all these are concave down, all the choices. Now all I need to do is look for the one that has -2, 1 as the vertex. So see, -2, 1 would be right here. This is not right. -2, 1 is right there. I think we got it right here. This is the answer. See this one? See, -2, 1's here. That's not right. -2, 1 on this last one. That's not right. There's my answer right there. Okay, it's easy as that. Let's look at this next one here. Okay, let's get a piece of paper we can use to write on. Okay. I'm trying. All right. So on this one, we have x squared minus 2x minus 1. What's my vertex? Well, the axis of symmetry, x equals -b over 2a. So that means in this one, my b is -2, my a is a 1. So that's going to give me a 2 over 2, which is 1. There's my axis of symmetry right there. Okay, now I plug that in up here. So if I plug that in, this is what I'm going to have. I'm going to have 1 squared minus 2 times 1 minus 1. If I punch this in the calculator, I'm going to get 1 minus 2, negative 2. Okay, so there's my vertex right there, 1, negative 2. All right, so I'll write that right here, 1, negative 2. That's my vertex. Now looking at the function here, see how my x squared is positive this time? See, there's no negative, there's positive. So that means it's concave up. So that tells me right off, this is not right. It's concave down. This one's not right, it's concave down. This one's concave up, and this one's concave up. Now which one has that vertex? 1, negative 2 would be right there. That's not the vertex on this. What about here? I believe we got it right here. 1, negative 2. Right there's my vertex. There's my answer. Okay. Let's look at some more of these. Okay. All right. So right here, let me write it down again. Number 3, we got f of x equals x squared plus 2x. All right, notice there's no c here. We have no c this time. All right, so that means my axis is symmetry. X equals negative b over 2a. All right, so x equals negative b over 2a. My b in this one's 2, and my a is 1. That's going to be negative 2 over 2, which is negative 1. That's my axis of symmetry. All right, now I got to plug that in. So I'm going to do f of negative 1, which means I'm going to have negative 1 squared. So I'm just putting it in the function here. Plus 2 times negative 1. And that's going to give me 1 minus 2, but negative 1. Okay, so that means my vertex right there, these two here. My vertex is negative 1, negative 1, negative 1, negative 1. That's my vertex. Okay, so I'm going to write it on here. Negative 1 is my vertex. Okay, and from the function, see my x squared term is positive. That means it's concave up, so it can't be this one. That's concave down. Could be these two, but definitely can't be this one. So it's got to be one of these two right here, because those are the ones that's concave up, because it's x squared, it's positive. See that? All right, well, which one has this vertex? Negative 1, negative 1. I believe it right here. Negative 1 right there. Now look at here. This is negative 2 on that one. That's not right, but you may look at it wrong thinking that this is 1 and that's 1, but that's not the correct answer. Here's the answer right there. Okay. Number 4. Here we'll do another one. Oh, look at this one. This one has no b. This one doesn't have any b this time. So, all right, so f of x equals x squared minus 4. All right, we have no b on this one, which means when I do my axis symmetry, negative b over 2a, and this one, my b is 0 because I don't have a b. My a is 1. So that means I'm going to have negative 0, which is 0, over 2, which is 0. So x equals 0 is my axis of symmetry for this one. Now I plug it in. So when I plug it in, I'm going to do f of 0, which means I'm going to have 0 squared minus 4, which is negative 4. And so there's my vertex right there. 0, negative 4. Okay, that's my vertex. All right, so on this problem here, 0, negative 4 is my vertex. See my x squared term's positive, so it means it's concave up. So it can't be this one. Can't be this one, can't be that. It's got to be that one right there because it's only 1. And of course, if you look at the vertex, 0, negative 4 right there, it's my vertex. Okay, so that was easy. All right, we'll go on to a different form. This is a vertex form now. Okay. All right, so in vertex form, these are a little bit easier because you can tell what the vertex is right off. You don't have to do the negative b over 2a thing. Here's my vertex right there. It's the opposite of that value for x, so it's going to be negative 4, and then I got positive 5. There's my vertex. Okay, now see I've got a negative in front of this x squared term. See, here's x squared right here, but I got a negative in front. That means it's concave down, which means it could be this one, but definitely not that one. Not that one, but it could be that one. Those are the ones that's concave down, because see, it's got a negative in front of the x squared term. Okay, now which one has the right vertex? Negative 4 or 5. Well, negative 4 or 5 is way up here. It ain't this one. I guess it's this one here, right? And it sure is. See, negative 4 or 5 right there. There's my answer right there. Okay. We'll do a couple more of these. All right, here's one here. All right, what's my vertex in this one? All right, real easy. Right there, opposite of that, 2, negative 2. There's my vertex. Okay, so 2, negative 2. Now look, I've got a 2 in front of that, but see, the 2 is positive. So it means it's concave up. So it could be this one, this one, this one, or this one. All of them are concave up. Which one has this vertex? 2, negative 2. All right, 2, negative 2 is right there. Ooh, that was kind of close, but that ain't right, is it? No. 2, negative 2 looks like this one. See here, 2, negative 2's there, that ain't right. And on this one, 2, negative 2's right there, that ain't right. So there's my answer right there. Okay. What about this next one? Vertex form. Oh, look here. Now, there's no number out here, which tells me my vertex on this one is going to be negative 2, but 0 since there's no number there. So negative 2, 0. All right, look at this. We'll just look at negative 2, 0 there. That ain't right. Negative 2, 0's here. That ain't right. Negative 2, 0 here. No. Negative 2, 0 is there. And that ain't right. We might have had a wrong equation here. Oh, I'm sorry. This is supposed to have been a 1. I copied it down wrong. It should have been negative 1, 0. Sorry about that. So that means, I think it's this one. Negative 1, 0 right there. I copied it down wrong. All right, so that would be it. Okay. All right, let's go to this one here. We got a couple more of these. Here's this one. All right. See, it's positive, so it's concave up. This can't be my answer. And this one here can't be my answer. Okay, now what's my vertex? All right there, negative 2 and a positive 1. It's the opposite of this one, but this number is the same for the y. Negative 2, 1 is my vertex. Negative 2, 1 looks like that one. This looks like it to me. See here, negative 2, 1's there. That ain't right. One last one. All right, see, this is positive x squared. There's positive in front, so it should be going up. Nope. 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 The only one right there going up. So that's got to be the answer. Okay. But let's see. Let's check my vertex. My vertex should be negative 2 and a positive 1. Negative 2, positive 1. That's my vertex. And look here, negative 2, positive 1 right there. Okay. All right, so that's a little bit about graphing quadratic equations. And if you have any questions or need any help, just let me know, okay? Have a good rest of the day.